effective, and it made us a lot more aware of what we were doing throughout the week. So does anybody not know what time blocking is? Perfect. So time blocking, as you can see with this time blocking template, is planning out how your week is going. Down to, in this one we do...
Before the week even starts.
Yes.
Does that make sense? You intentionally schedule everything out. Sorry.
We did this on, beforehand as managers, we had to submit these on Sunday night at the latest for the entire week. And it made us a lot more aware of what was happening throughout the week and if we needed to change how, when we did certain things. Right, so this is just the template. I've handed it out to everyone. And can we go to the example time block?
Very good time blocking template.
So this.
I'm so proud of you.
You were ready, bro. You were ready.
So this is the program director time block. This is the one that Ashlyn and I actually sat down and we made a mock-up for. If you would scroll down just a little bit. This is very, very broad. It is not specific, but it has the daily all-team meeting. It has the manager's weekly check-in, team check-in time. That is when we sit down, we go over what the schedule looks like, who is going to teach what, who is going to do what intros, things like that. And then lead calls are one of the most important things that a program director does. So I always block out time just to do those. And then there are certain days that we generally do certain calls. So Mondays, we'll do trial calls. Tuesday, renewals. Wednesdays are MIAs. And in Kaysville, for some reason, by Thursday, we kind of run out of calls. So Thursday is the whatever you've missed and whatever you need to do day. What I'd like you guys to do, if we could go to the head instructor one.
Head instructor time blocking.
Jennifer, how do you have so many tabs?
Because because she's prepared.
This is weak. She's been up to like 60 before. Don't even worry about it.
My brain.
I can.
No, I want you to know where it lives in the drive.
I don't know where his lives in the drive.
Okay, where does your head instructor one live in the drive?
I use the search bar and do time blocking head instructor and it appears. Like,
Alright, go type time blocking. I'm gonna help them find it.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. Like,
All my stuff lives in the drive. I know, I get
Do we
that.
have an extra paper?
just Sam came in a
Oh,
little bit.
yes.
Here.
No, you have one.
All right. This is the one that McKay made. This is going to look a little bit different for actually most of you, but it looks very different. The program director one has a list of priorities that need to get done.
Yeah, so instead of typing those into the spreadsheet, you saw they just put priority list. That's because that is a whole thing that they follow every day, right? So rather than type it in 5 different places, they just put priority list. That doesn't mean they're just sitting there doing one thing.
That's why we have.
There's like, what, 35 items?
Yeah.
On that?
So
What is it up to now?
It's a lot.
I
didn't really count.
It-
just was like all this stuff.
this one is fairly general, but we organized it from what we felt like was the most important down to the least important. Not that cleaning isn't important, but I would argue that for a program director, doing appointments is a little bit more important than going and cleaning the toilet.
More in that day.
Yes.
Tell the parent you're gonna go clean the bathroom and not me with them.
Oh my gosh.
What? I'm telling that.
Yeah, I just go in and I go, all right, I know you did the homework card. I'm going to go, wipe down the sink real quick. Just stay here.
Real dirty.
Right.
Okay. We should go back to McKay's.
Yes.
The head instructor. So for a lot of you, this makes more sense if you are on the instructor side. Team check-in, upgrade or awesome calls, 246 calls, MIA, renewal calls, teach classes.
Dark blue says awesome calls. Sorry.
I was like,
Yes.
I was sitting there trying to.
Another thing I want you guys to notice about when McKay did this is he actually got more specific on the time. So he broke it down into sometimes 15-minute intervals, because 15, 45, 30-minute intervals, it kind of depends on what he needs. So for right here, it was 15 minutes. I saw one that was, there's half an hour right there. I mean, it just depends on what he needs. And that's the great thing about the template, is you can change it based on what you need to do. I know for a while when we were submitting them on Sundays, McKay would time block like hanging out with his wife or game night with Brandon. This is not just something that you can use to be more effective at work. This is something that you can use to be more effective in your life in general. And I would argue that doing this just helps you live a more efficient life just all over. So what I would like you guys to do is take probably 10 minutes and talk amongst yourselves.
Outline your
Yes.
personal timeline.
And I would be really interested to see, from my perspective, some of my program directors or assistant program directors, if their time block looks vastly different than what I did, or if some of our assistant instructors look at it and see it differently than even McKay does. So I'm going to call on people to kind of see where they feel like the most important use of their time is. So go ahead and take some time.
Yeah, don't just copy down the head instructor time blocking one if you're like a level 2 instructor. You're not making upgrade calls and 246 calls very often.
So figure out this is when I am maybe done with school, and this is when I get to the karate school, this is when I'm done, this is when I'm going to do my awesome calls.
This is when I'm going to do my homework even.
Do you want this
This is when I eat
this
food.
upcoming week, or
Yes.
to be more generalized?
Let's do generalized for now.
Because, I mean, most weeks will be very similar, and when Jennifer sends me her time blocking, there will be like 2 or 3 things that have changed. And she'll say, what time works for you to meet this week? And she'll move our meeting from Monday to Thursday, or Tuesday we have people who have interviews, and so she'll add those in so that I know where we can coordinate, because that's who most crosses paths with Jennifer. Does that make sense? So this is you figuring out what maybe an ideal work week would look like, and then we can just tweak it every week if there's something that interrupts that, like a 2-week course changes those slightly, right? Or Monday is Memorial Day, and so that modifies the whole week, stuff like that.
This can also be a living document. If Monday you're going through something and you find out that Thursday your plans have drastically changed, I would recommend going in and changing your time block. And
we'll talk about the why we time block thing as you're doing it.
yeah,
It's more than just organizing what is going on onto a paper. Have you ever gotten done with a task and then you kind of get stuck in this limbo of, well, what should I do next? The time block is there to save you. You just look at it and go, oh, it is Wednesday at 2:30. That means it's 246 calls. And you just go do the next thing on your time blocking. Does that make sense?
Sir.
That's what the time blocking is for. So you don't have to constantly have the mental stress of finding the next thing. You're a program director. Oh, I hit 3:30. It's the priority list. Okay, is there an appointment coming up? No. Okay, is there whatever's next? Is there a lead I need to follow up with? Is there an email I need to send? Are there parents that I need to talk to? Is there an intro that's happening today? Is there someone who's coming to class that I need to follow up on for an upgrade appointment that was missed? Whatever's in that list, you just start checking off that list until you get to something you haven't done yet. And the time blocking makes it so you don't have to keep that in your brain, because we all forget, no matter how intelligent we are, what the next thing to do is. And so the time block saves you by, you don't have to think about it. You look at your paper, you find the thing that's next, and you find the list, and you go, oh, that's what I'm doing. And it takes 5 seconds to figure out your next activity rather than 20 minutes.
I think this is the quietest I've heard this group.
Ever.
I need louder.
Quietest we've ever heard you.
We can be pretty loud.
No, that's okay. I like how focused you guys are being.
This was awesome.
So you just put everything on
Yes,
here?
McKay.
I have all my workout, but do you want me to like put in homework time?
Yeah, put homework.
everything?
Yeah, put homework time. Put like when you're gonna go to the gym.
Okay.
Like if you've got a date coming up.
Okay.
A question, throw a pen at my head. What's your question?
No, I don't actually. It was just a joke. If it wasn't a joke, I'd actually throw.
My time blocking looks like no one else's.
I know. Mine looks like no one else's either.
Like
And
a
that's the-
random
that-
app.
Mine doesn't look like anyone else. Mine changes so much from week to week. It's absurd.
And that's the great thing about a time block too. I remember when we were submitting them, I would look at other people's to kind of figure out if I needed to change my priorities as well. And I would really love it if in the head instructor one for our higher level instructors, we could just have you guys make your own time block template.
Where this is a normal week,
Yeah.
and then we just tweak it every week. It's not hard once you get it going. It just then makes it very easy to keep on track.
I basically have one of these in my planner that I write down.
And that's how Heidi does hers. Hers is on paper. She writes it out every week. Much easier
I
for her to
forget
do
if I
it.
don't write it. If I type it, it's on. But if I write it, mine's all right here. No one can read it. Nobody
Yeah,
can read it.
I like to think that mine's all in my head, and then I forget dozens of things. So it doesn't.
That's how I am as well.
Write them down. I'm like, what
I
time of day do I do that? I just know that I get it done during that day, and I'm like, I don't pay attention to which time. I just get it done.
You're better than me. I forget everything.
I do as well. I have to time block or my life falls apart. And I'm
Okay, I will tell you the richest like 4 people I know all time block very, very, very specifically.
like Chris
Mr.
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, Mr. Metzger, Mr. Some they time block like you would not even believe. We're talking to the 5-minute increments kind of stuff.
I love looking at Chris
Rodriguez
Rodriguez.
is so intentional and so specific. It is like she won't answer your phone call if it is her office journaling time. She uses it to eliminate distractions too. You want to call her, you got to call her within the time blocking periods that are for open office time.
It's pretty intense to see Chris Rodriguez's. I think we have some of the training for hers, don't we? For her time, one of her time blocking seminars, because hers are so amazing to see.
So my time blocking started here, and it turned into my brain because I couldn't keep things straight. And I made myself a task list here for when I can't remember all
Now
the
she
things
just
I
copies
need to
and
do.
pastes them into her time block.
Just have to remind myself what's going on. But now I have just one document to hold everything that my brain can't hold anymore.
So Dana, I just have like this for like a standard,
Yeah.
typical. We have nothing else going
That's the whole
on week.
point, and then
Yeah.
realize
Okay,
what things that still need
this
to be
is
done.
like outside of like birthday parties, tournaments, ceremonies, black belt.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Only 1 week a month. But it's fun.
Yeah. Whatever your most normal week looks like, do that one. Because you can change it.
Very similar to the program burger one.
That's because we wrote it
We
together.
wrote it together, and that's what I do. Except Tuesdays. Tuesdays look different.
All I can do are all
But I
the
time
ones.
block.
I was like, go shopping every Monday.
Yes, every Monday. I work up until I leave.
So I'm not telling you have to time block your whole universe, but once you arrive at work, I expect your time to be that organized that you
Yeah.
know at any given moment at work what the next thing to do is. Does that make sense? That's the whole point of this. So I think that's all the time I want to spend
Yeah.
on it. But I would like to see you working with your managers to see if you can streamline and be more efficient about your office hours, your onboarding time, those 15 or 20 minutes after classes end or after your shift ends, and see what else you can get done. Can you do your 5 awesome calls? Can you get in A, B, and C? You see what I'm saying? Like, I think you could achieve a little bit more if it was just more streamlined and you didn't have to ask what was the next thing if you just knew because there was that scheduled time blocked out and intentionally planned in advance. Okay? So that's time blocking. Any questions? This is to dump it out of your brain.
Just like, I have a really like unpredictable schedule. Every single day is just
checklist for me.
I
So how would I?
I
Block
agree.
every day.
Every day. So it's not like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are the same. For me, for example, Monday is I have a 2-hour meeting with my construction guys. And then I have a 2-hour meeting with Jennifer to get ready for the whole week karate-wise. Then we have our weekly tactical meeting to actually put into place all the things that need to happen. But then Tuesday, some days, some weeks, we're doing interviews. Some weeks I'm shooting shotcrete, or I'm on a roof, or I'm at my kid's 3rd grade program. The whole point of time blocking is you're preparing all those bazillion things, and you are Sunday afternoon or something, you're planning them out so that when someone calls and says, hey, can you come do this thing? You pull out your time block and go, actually, I can't because I have this other thing already in that place. Does that make sense?
So then the next important step to that, you plan it for the week, and then at the end of the day, you go and review your time block for the next day.
So
And things might have changed.
Monday night, you
So
go,
you can
well,
adjust
crap.
it.
Now I need to go to this band thing I forgot about. You add it in, but you've got to move those other things you knew you needed to do. And so you use it to adapt. And it takes it out of your brain. And I promise you, when you do this, your brain all of a sudden goes, oh, I don't have to worry. I'm going to just move on to the next thing. All I have to do is look it up, and I move on to the next thing. And I'm not doing the weird, I'm trying to think 5 steps ahead of myself, because I promise you it makes you less efficient. Because my brain lives that way half the time. I'm like, okay, well, I got to remember I got to go to Wasatch Steel to pick up that square tubing so I can use it for the bracing. But if I don't do that, then I can't do A, B, and C. And a lot of my brain power is wasted not being in the moment because I'm trying to time block mentally instead of on a piece of paper. That's all I'm saying. And I promise you, successful people do not just leave it stuffed in their brain. Sam.
There's only so much brain resources that you have, and so if you need to make decisions, you do it first thing in the morning. Every time you think about something, you're making a decision. Stand up, sit down, say, what to get for lunch? What do I wear? Do I check this first? Every time you look at your phone, you're making a decision. And it's called decision fatigue. And you wear out. And you have to keep thinking about all the stuff you have to do. You're going to be mentally exhausted by the middle of the afternoon.
And then when you have really important decisions to make, there's no juice left. Does that make sense? And so this takes away that mental fatigue. That's a very accurate way of putting this. It just saves you the mental and emotional strain of having to plan the next minute right before that minute occurs 65 times during a day. So you sit down at night and you go, okay, I'm pretty sure this is what tomorrow looks like. And then halfway through the day, you go, oh, crap, I'm 2 hours behind. I'm going to have to cut one thing out. I'll move that to Thursday or something. But you will start to go, holy cow, I don't have to make these decisions for myself because I made myself already make those decisions. I promise you this is what successful people do, or hire someone else to do it for them.
Hugely freeing. Nate, you had a comment?
Yeah. Why? I found that when you time block, you find time magically appears. And you're like, I don't have time for anything. But then when you plan your time, you're like, oh, I have like 4 extra hours.
Yeah.
And then the weeks where I have time blocked personally, I find time to make my music, and I've actually finished a couple projects.
Absolutely.
Before it was like a nebulous kind of thing.
And so why wouldn't in your time blocking you say, you know what, for my mental sanity, I need to play video games for 2 hours. Schedule it. If it's,
right?
I never have time to work out, that's baloney. Schedule it into your time blocking, and when that time arrives, put your phone away, put your homework down, put whatever it is down, and actually just do the workout. Does that make sense? I promise you, this is so powerful, it's insane. Chris Rodriguez, the lady that does all our Facebook marketing, is obsessed with this, like obsessed. But rightfully so. She went from running one small jiu-jitsu school to a like $9 million marketing agency in 4 years. And in large part because she was super efficient with her time. Does that make sense? She's intentional about her training time, her own personal development time, her time with her staff, her time by herself, her time with her kids, her time with her family. She schedules every minute from the time she wakes up until she goes to sleep so that when an interruption comes along, she can choose to accept the interruption or deflect the interruption. Does that make sense? Sometimes she will just say, I'm not doing that right now. I'm hanging out with my son. Sorry. That's pretty powerful, guys. That's amazing.
Part of me is curious because I understand she's probably really organized, like absolutely 110%. Oh, I didn't know we were doing the mic. Part of me is curious though if any of her kids or some people just feel like it's a robotic type of thing. Yeah, I don't know if her kids are at all like.
Yeah, her family time blocks at night, so they plan their time together.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And I suck at this, and this is one of the things that I think I am lacking the most is the intentional. I'm sorry, I am playing Legos with Bentley. You guys can't bug me. I think that would be super powerful for my family as much as it would be for you guys. If it was, I'm sorry, it's business systems, and I want to be there. Don't drag me into whatever ridiculous blah 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 you got that you think I need to be there for.
Now, another tactic to use, you're kind of alluding to, I think, in like blocking time to play video games. If you know people are going to come to you, take your calendar and just block out time as a private appointment.
Yeah.
That way you can say, you know what, I'm sorry, I'm blocked that time. I can't help you.
Yeah.
So there's ways to utilize this to accomplish it. It's about being intentional.
Yeah. So we gave you the middle of the day, bare bones, what you need on there. The most effective way to do it is from sun up to sundown, from start to finish, do your whole day, so you accomplish it. And if it's no, I want to go shooting once a week. Why am I not scheduling an hour to go shooting once a week? Haven't done it in 9 months, but I used to have it time blocked out, and I would go, and it was Firearms Friday at 11 o'clock. And does that make sense? Like, you can choose your whole schedule, and that's freedom. That's being successful, guys, is having the time to do all the things you want. This is the magic to that. I have yet to meet a really successful person that is not very on top of being in control of their time and using it only for what they want and what moves the needle in their life very effectively. Tanner? Oh, Bruce Lee quote. Bring it on. Let's go. Here, you find it while Sam talks. And then we're going to move on to the next thing.
Another important aspect of this is if you have a vision board and you're not reaching your goals, start blocking out time to reach your goals.
Yeah. Your goals, your numbers, if it's hey, we only have one enrollment and you're a program director and your goal is 5, how many hours of your day are you spending on enrollment related activities? If it's only 30 minutes, that doesn't maybe give the proper weight to those activities. Does that make sense? If it's past high school, there better be some time for homework blocked out in our schedule, right? Right?
We're talking to you.
Looking at all you high school people. Looking at all you high school people. You better graduate. Okay. Did you find it? Give us a closing quote and we got to move on.
If you love life,
Louder.
Be loud.
If you love life, don't waste time, for time is what life is made of.
Absolutely. Honestly, the more we grow and the more things that happen, the more I realize time is better than money. Time is what will matter. So I would just say guard it, protect it, and use every minute of it super carefully.
Perfect. Brandon, will you stop it and then start it again?
I'm on. Okay.
Okay, what are we up to next? Is it?
This is lesson plan.
Oh,